Hello and welcome. This is our Airbnb that's actually located in Texas. I want you guys to kind of see what we're going on. We always have something at the entryway that's always positive before we bring you in. And what you want is a nice, clean, open space here where you can see into it. I love the open floor plans, as you can see. All right, and then we come here, we have a formal area here where you can dine. Really simple, have one little centerpiece here. You always have some artwork on the wall, which kind of showcases it. Right here behind you. As well, we have a workstation. You always want to appeal to your business customers and make sure that they have a place to work. And here you'll notice right above we have a Wi-Fi password, and then there's a portable printer, and we always have some paper there. That allows people to have it. Now in this home, because it's so large, we actually have a office. And so in this office, which you could use as an additional bedroom, we figured there would be more executive that would probably stay here. So we have a printer, a full-on printer, and we do have here a computer with a full laptop. And if you'll notice here, it actually has a keyboard right here as well. So if you want to appeal to your executives, you want to have a place here. This is actually where we will come and work sometimes when we're in town. But this, again, is another option that you have. It has the French doors, and you're able to close it off from the rest of the house and work while the kids are running around as well. So come on in. Show you the bathroom. So you'll notice here, this is a bathroom that actually services this bedroom here, but this is the restroom. Keep it light and bright, really simple. You have your soaps there. You also will have just a basic shower curtain. Make sure everything is fresh and clean. Now, through here, you have, this is the bedroom here. That's a single. You always, if you have multiple bedrooms, you kind of would like to have one that just has one bed. So it would be a larger bed. You have a dresser and you have the closets here. This one is a full length closet and it runs the length of the room. And then you, of course, will have a nightstand here as well. Now in this room, actually, let me just show you. You actually can go in here, which is kind of cool, and you can make it so that there's a lock on here as well. If you come around, you can lock this initial bathroom door, and then this becomes a private bath. So you always want to kind of consider that whenever you have the opportunity to do so. All right, come on back. I'm going to take you to the master. Now this room is fairly large, so you always want to make sure that you have two bedrooms where you have at least two beds. If you have two bedrooms, you want at least have one bedroom actually that has two. So you have here extra space. We have two full-size beds here, and I wanted to, you have your walls here. You have a mirror with another little dresser there. You have a sitting area because some people like to sit and read, and they have lights there. And then you have another television here saying relax your home. And you'll see we've got the smoke detectors down because we're actually going to be having a new renter and we're checking the batteries. One of the things you always want to do is make sure you go through and check your batteries. At least every couple of months, you just want to make sure that your batteries are fresh. So that's something you want to do. Every room will have a smoke detector. You want to make sure that you do that as well. All right, so we're going to go into this master bathroom. I'm just going to show you how simple things are. All right, so we do have a jacuzzi tub behind us, and I'm going to take him over here. I wanted to show you guys, when you're here, you kind of want to dress it up just a little bit. You want to put some trinkets there. I always put extra washcloths on every sink in the home. You want to have soap, maybe some cotton balls. You can get these from the dollar store, but people like to have some cotton balls and some Q-tips. little things that you find there. And I always put extra soap and lotion inside the cabinet and wipes for makeup. That way they don't have to actually mess up your white tiles. I always use white. Has a restroom there. You'll always end up with extra supplies. You want to make sure that you have them in your linen closets as well. Even if you only have a couple, you have here where you will have extra towels and washcloths. Whenever you have an extra linen closet, you want to utilize that space as well. All right. Here we have an extra shower. Whenever we have a glass shower, because you have two beds, a lot of times what we will do is just make sure that we have an extra thing there that gives a little bit of privacy. And in your closets, what you want to do is make sure you put hangers in there. Have you ever been somewhere and they didn't have hangers? So when you come in here, we always just put hangers. All right. This one is a fairly new one, so it's a fairly large closet, but we make sure that we put hangers in here so people can hang their business suits or their attire. You want to make sure that you just take care of all those little necessities. And I believe he actually showed you, but what I like to do is have a little setup on the bed. So here I have my body wash. You always have a nice little towel. I place my washcloth and later I'm going to show you exactly how I do that. I always do lotion and some little cleansers, just a little kind of care package that you do. And that's on every bed in the home. I also normally do a mint on the pillow too, but I make it fresh, so you won't see that today because I haven't placed it. But let's go on and I'm going to show you the kitchen. Okay, so here's the kitchen. Upon entry, I always like to put something for Keurig, and then you have your display. So you have something here that displays that everything is intentional. Again, be intentional. So I have them categorized and here so that they would be comfortable with it. Then I put extra supplies here. You don't have to do this if you don't like, but you can place them outside just so they know that they're there. And then you want to have for them to have their cooking things here, and you also want to make sure your stove is clean. Here, I just bought this here because I'm actually going to fill it. So I always do a nice salt and pepper shaker, and then I'll fill these and then put these in the cabinet with the rest of the seasonings. So we do that. Here you have a little rice, pasta, to make sure that everyone has something, it kind of looks nice. There's something that makes it feel like home, and if you have coffee and teas, you want to make sure you've got sugar and cream. You've got a toaster. We also have an air fryer, which we place now in our units because an air fryer is quick and a lot of people like to use them. It's a cheap way to accessorize, and that's something that we do. Here you want to make sure everything is clean, sparkling. Your cleaners need to make sure that they do that. Here. You guys, this goes such a long way. When you've got kids and you have guests that come in, we used to place them by the beds in every nightstand. Now we kind of just throw a little bit in the kitchen. You can do either, but make sure you've got snacks. They're inexpensive, but they go a long way and people love that. And we're going to go into the fridge, and I just want to show you, this is what we always do. We make sure that every fridge has water and it has cream, but that's it. You don't have to have anything else in there, but you do want to have water for your guests. You don't have to have so many. This home is 7 people, so we put 7 bottles of water in there. And that one I have like 8. And then here over to the sink area, I want to show you that we actually always have the supplies under the sink here. And we're going to make sure that they have dish liquid, cleaning supplies, disinfectants. We do that. And we want to make sure that you also have hand soap, dish towels. You want to have your hand towels here. Always put some hand towels by the sink. Here I have some additional napkins. As we come over, we also have a phone. Next to the phone, now we do have a courtesy phone. It does not allow for any calls other than regular calls. No international calls, but all domestic are accepted. So I put next to the phone the address, because if they wanted to order pizza or anything, I always put an address here. They also have the password again. to the Wi-Fi, and then the phone number that's actually here. So if they need to give that, they have a place to do it. Then we're gonna go, and I'm gonna show you the second dining area. So here, really simple. You have your choice, but if you'll notice, the colors are all coordinated. So everything in your unit, if you're using grays or silvers, if you'll notice, everything pretty much is gray, blue, silver, and white. Those are the colors we stuck to. There may be some hints of black, but for the most part, you've got tans, earth tones, really simple. Let me just explain that the reason why we use things like this, they look good, they're clean, but guess what? You can throw it in the laundry, okay, with your whites, and it makes it really simple. Now we're gonna go over to the living area. This couch, and we're gonna show you exactly what things cost and how you can get as much out from your dollar. So you have your TV here. You always wanna have a television in your main living area. You don't always have to have televisions in the bedrooms, but in your main living area, you want to do that. We have a fireplace, it's lit. It is a gas fireplace, but this kind of just helps. You just want them to feel peaceful, comfortable, or have a good time. Couch, you want to have a couch that's large enough to seat the number of guests that you are going to say you have in your unit. So this would definitely and comfortably seat 6 or 7 people all day long. Everything pretty much, again, is still color coordinated. You'll see we got the blues, the silvers, and the tans. All right, we're gonna go over to the next 2 bedrooms. So again, this is one of our larger homes, and this home can rent even upwards of $300, depending on the season and the time of year. Location, location, location. If you were in California, you definitely would have, if you were in California, this would be, you know, $600–700 a night. However, we're in Texas, in a little small quaint town, but again, when you come in to the areas, you have your beds, again, you've placed your items, just always little trinkets, make sure your washcloths are placed. I always believe in nightstands. Now, the one thing that's actually good for your guests nowadays, these lights are very inexpensive, but they can put their charger for their phone and have a night light. Okay, some of them actually have a charger, or you may have a plug. So pretty much, as long as you have those, people are happy. I always like to do that. And if we were to use it, they could cut off the lights as well. Always you have your closet and your nightstands beside pretty much just about every bed. You want to do that. What we tend to do a lot of times is we'll place a chair in the bedroom as well for people to sit, place shoes, get dressed, do those things. Again, another bedroom here. This room, everything is pretty much with different colors, right? So this room is our yellow and gold room. So we've got pretty much yellows and golds. You want to look at the pictures. A lot of times I will design our room based on the picture. So we'll just take a really simple picture and then we accessorize according to that. Here you'll see you got, this is a very simple placement. Dollar store items. This is $3. 1, 2, 3. That's it. And then you want to have your television. We choose to put televisions in every room. Again, you'll see we're checking to make sure that these are all working. So we do have them down. And then every light, make sure it's plugged in. You want to make sure that everything that you have is working while you are going to rent to guests. You have curtains at the windows, because some people would like to have their room a little bit shaded, you know, in the mornings. Everybody's not trying to wake up at the same time. And then we come to the bathroom. This is our last bath here in this room. So there are 3 full baths in this home. And again here, I love my little sign here. It says, "Good morning, beautiful." I'm all about the positive vibes. And when you turn around there, you're going to see there, when you walk out of here, you'll see "Think Positive." All right. So at this point, that kind of concludes our tour of this home. But if you notice, very simple, nothing's extravagant. We don't have a lot going on, but that's pretty much all you need. You don't have to have, chandeliers. You can, wonderful. But depending on where you are, you want to also accommodate the area in which you are. So make sure that your home is well lit when you take your pictures, your lighting is done, and for the most part, you want to make sure that you take pictures of things that are going to excite your guests. You want to make sure that you take pictures of little things like this. When you have things that are perfectly placed, you want to make sure that your guests know that you care enough. There's one more space that I almost forgot because, we're not using it much, but let me show you here. We do have a laundry room. You always want to have here a broom. You want to have a mop. You want to have a vacuum cleaner if in fact you do vacuum. If you have any carpet, then you want to have detergent and you want to have some bleach. All right. Trash bags, a must. If you're asking your guests, because at the end, before they leave, you're going to ask them to throw the towels and washcloths in the laundry, which is why we have our little basket thing here. They can throw everything there. And then you want to have a washer and dryer. And when you do that, you also have the detergent for them. So if they want to throw a load in, that just helps out your cleaning staff and everybody is happy. All right, well with that concludes our tour of the home, and hopefully you've seen kind of what we do. We've been doing this now for quite a few years and we love it. And this is one of the larger homes. So it takes a little bit more to furnish, but if you do it well, it'll still make you money. Thanks you guys. See you in the next lesson.